fellow Baycrafter extraordinaire with Zombie Baycraft here today. We are at a tournament in San Francisco here. We are getting ready for a tournament for the WBO. We have things set up here. We got some stadiums that are about to be set up for free play. We've got our stadium stands here for when the area comes up. We are at the sports basement at Stonestown. We got people doing test battles over here. So let's go ahead and do some test battles ourselves. Oh my god. Alright, the place is a lot more lively now. We've got test battles going pretty much everywhere.
I forgot who our t-shirt said.
We've got a samurai saber mirror here.
So I was going to be running a multi-themed deck for this tournament, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into my tournament run. Alrighty, so this was the deck that I had used in that tournament at Dino DNA. It was Wizard Rod on 760 gear point. It was Wizard Arc Wheel on 680 free ball. And the MVP of that tournament, Knight Shield on 160 Hexa. So, I know that I did save my deck right then, but for this first match in the Swiss rounds, I actually didn't use that deck. I used a different deck of Knight Mail on 760 Zap.
Oh wait, I'll wait for order.
Wait, no. Knight Mail on 760 Knight, Wizard Arc, the same Wizard Arc build, and Wizard Rod on 160 Hexa.
First Beyblade.
So, yeah, I actually lost this round pretty handedly, which is the reason why I swapped to the deck I listed at the start of the video.
Later, are you ready?
Anyways, you can see here, I had the same boss this round. You can see I launched Knight Mail. It did absolutely nothing against my opponent's Wizard Rod 160 Hexa. Getting absolutely wrecked here because Knight Mail was unable to knock out the Wizard Rod, and the Wizard Rod was absolutely going to outspin Knight Mail.
Yeah, figured. I was like, there's no way that extreme dash didn't knock out even with the North special.
And yep, you saw my reaction there. I was not surprised in the slightest at that result.
You're ready, later.
And you can see right here, it is time for my Wizard Arc against their Pegasus Blast. And if I remember correctly, their Pegasus Blast was on Taper or Kick. But you can see that despite being an extremely tall build, being on 680 free ball, my Wizard Arc had its defensive purpose served. And for our third phase, we had, well, it's my turn to use Wizard Rod 160 Hexa against, I think it was their Phoenix Wave. Yeah, Wizard Rod 160 Hexa. 160 Hexa is broken on pretty much anything that has high stamina and high defense. So, yeah, of course on Wizard Rod, it is broken. There's a reason we call it the NorCal Special Wizard Rod. Wizard Rod 160 Hexa, the NorCal Special.
Later, when you're ready. 3, 2, 1, go.
Again, every person in NorCal runs Wizard Rod on 160 Hexa if they run Wizard Rod. Normally I run Wizard Rod on 560 gear point, but for this one I went with 160 Hexa just because in my deck I didn't have 160 Hexa available, so I mean, not available, but I didn't have 160 Hexa on anything else in my deck, so I figured I might as well just put it on Wizard Rod.
We got a spin finish. go to Beyblade number 5. Players, are you ready? 3, 2,
But yeah,
1.
the way that it was set up was that it was first to 4 points for best 2 out of 3, right? So first to 4 points, 2 out of 3 sets, and then
Riveting game.
that's how you would get a point for the Swiss rounds. Anyways, as you could hear me say earlier, riveting gameplay between Arc and Rod here. I'm pretty sure my Arc lost this, just because Hexa being very good at staying stable. And there it is.
We're gonna go to our 6th Beyblade. Players, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go shoot!
And Night Mail does absolutely nothing again.
We are going to go to a
Night Mail getting completely outspun.
last Beyblade to each other. This is a sudden death for Players, when you're ready. 3, 2, 1, go shoot!
And here we go, the last match of this, the last battle of this match. Wizard Rod versus Wizard Rod. I'm using the green Hasbro Wizard Rod, my opponent is using the yellow Takaratomi. Most boring battle ever. Wizard Rod mirror, baby. I'm just gonna speed this up. Alright, so now that we're in the second set, I would probably say something, but I'm gonna be honest, there's not much to be said after how it went. So my first round didn't exactly go well. However, I will say, this is when the actual run starts. Just because this is when I actually switched to the deck I started off with in the video. It's Night Shield 160 Hexa, Wizard Rod 560 Gear Point, Wizard Arc on wheel, 680 Ray Ball. But yeah, here's where it all went down. Here we go, it's my Night Shield 160 Hexa versus their Pegasus Blast Wheel on Ball, I think. But yeah, I'm going to speed this one up because it was pretty boring past a certain point because it became a stamina battle. And my Night Shield wins with a spin finish here. And now it is my Wizard Arc against their Pegasus Blast on 770 level. 2, 1. Let's go ahead and get this match started. Wizard Arc got an extreme finish right there, serving up my first match point. To shuffle, it's now my Night Shield versus their Pegasus Blast again. Let's go ahead and see how this goes. Yonsa is trying to get the run back, but we can see here, Pegasus Blast wastes all of its energy doing extreme dashes. Night Shield outspins. For the win, baby! Alrighty, and now it's my Wizard Arc versus their Wizard Rod.
Players ready. 3, 2, 1, go shoot!
And we can see how it goes here. It's a pretty quick match if I remember correctly. There it is. But yeah, Wizard Arc took out their Wizard Rod on Ball, giving me that second point. It's their Arrow Pegasus versus my Wizard Rod. And if I remember correctly, this was also a pretty fast match. Either that or it was Wizard Rod taking the center and winning via outspin. Yep, it was Wizard Rod taking the outspin. I'm just gonna fast forward. Yeah, Wizard Rod takes it with a spin finish. Sentence to be said many a time. On to my next opponent, and the judge's reaction to seeing Knight Shield in my deck was absolutely hilarious. Here you go.
Damn, is that what I think?
Knight Shield, baby.
That's Jordan. Exposing. She said herself.
I do not care. I kid you not. Right now, Knight Shield is broken and no one believes me.
See, even the judge didn't believe me there. But yeah, it was my Knight Shield versus their Pegasus Blast wheel on, I think that was 960 Taper. So we had to reshoot there just because of the fact that Pegasus Blast was still barely hanging on to the outside of the stadium and hadn't dropped all the way through by the time my Knight Extremed itself. This right here is why y'all gotta start putting respect on Knight Shield's name. Got that burst against Pegasus Blast on wheel of all things. Alrighty, and now it's time for my Wizard Arc wheel on 680 free ball versus their Hover Wyvern on kick. Honestly, that's exactly what I expected from this matchup.
I test everything myself and I figure out, hey, what do I need as a niche in my deck?
Anyways, it's time for a Wizard Rod mirror, except I'm using Wizard Rod 560 Gear Point, my opponent's using Wizard Rod 160 Hexa, the NorCal Special. So let's go ahead and see how this happens here. I don't even remember how it went down. Oh, right. My Rod Extreme KO'd the opponent. Now for the 2 out of 3, we start off, and it is my Rod on Gear Point against their Hover my Knight Shield against their Hover Wyvern. We can see here, Knight Shield absolutely tanking everything.
Knight Shield. Funnily enough, I took Nightmail out of my deck after I lost the first round. I have not lost with it since.
That's crazy. Alright.
Now it's time for their Pegasus Blast against my Wizard Arc. So this should be pretty interesting. Not, because it's a freaking stamina battle at this point, and I got Extreme finished. Never mind. I forgot that it didn't come down to stamina in this matchup. But now it's time for Rod Mirror 2 Electric Boogaloo, baby! Rod on Gear Point versus Rod on Wall Ball, I think. Yeah. So yeah, after being Extreme finished, I really needed to win this. I really needed to make the comeback of my life to win this match. So, it is my Knight Shield versus their Wizard Rod. And Knight Shield starts circling around a bit, and it should be pretty interesting here. It gets the knockout! On to my next opponent, Risk Diva 1. This dude became my homie after this. Like, yeah, we had some pretty interesting matches here. And it's so funny because so many people were so surprised to see my Knight Shield of all things. And Risk is the only person this entire tournament who, funnily enough, did not lose a single point to my Knight Shield despite this generational run.
Yeah, it's on there.
yeah, so not only did Risk give my Night Shield its first loss of the tournament, he also just straight up beat my butt the entire time. So yeah, Risk gave me my second loss total of the tournament. And yeah, I low-key kinda got embarrassed, folded. I'm just gonna show the clips of each time Risk got points, because there's not much here to look at aside from a couple hilarious clips. Well, that and also my Wizard Rod consistently outspinning Cobalt Dragoon Elevate just because 770 gear point do be going crazy. And yeah, Wizard Rod on 760 gear point is pretty much really good at the Cobalt Dragoon matchup. We interrupt this montage of me getting my butt kicked to show you Night Shield getting an extreme finish on Cobalt Dragoon. Back to the montage. Anyways, moving on to my next opponent, I actually end up fighting the tournament organizer, Dull. So yeah, Dull was also very surprised seeing my entire deck because Dull had never seen a deck as stupid as mine. So here we go, it is my Night Shield versus Dull's Cobalt Dragoon Elevate. I'm gonna skip to the end because we know the result here. So yeah, his Cobalt Dragoon took that match, but here it is, time for my Wizard Rod on 560 gear point versus his Phoenix Wing. I don't remember what it was on, but yeah, this was an intense battle. Everything was going haywire, everything was going crazy, and here we go into the final moments of the battle, and Rod takes it with a spin finish. Now it's time for my Wizard Arc on 663 ball versus his Wizard Rod 160 Hexa. Again, the NorCal Rod. I don't remember. Oh yeah, we had to reshoot because there was mid-air contact here. And here's the launch. Yep, Arc scraping an intense amount there. So it ended up being destabilized, and Rod won this one, I'm pretty sure.
It's just leaning. I'm fine with the spin.
Couple shuffle arounds. It's time for Cobalt Dragoon Elevate versus Wizard Rod on gear point. If I remember correctly, Wizard Rod won this one. Starts off with a pretty big hit. And the bounce back. Let's get that replay. Now it's time for my Night Shield versus the NorCal Rod. And this, while it was a pretty boring battle, the judge was announcing it pretty excitingly, so I will go ahead and let it speak for itself.
This bully is way around. They're both on Hexa. Night Shield's kind of hanging in there. This is pretty close. Rod is tilting a lot. Night Shield gonna get the spin finish, and that's gonna win the set. Alright, Joel, you wanna say?
And now for the 2 out of the 3. So my Rod versus his Phoenix comes up. And this was a pretty fast set. Yep, starts off with Rod Extreme finishing Phoenix. It was time for Night Shield versus Cobalt Dragoon Elevate. And we can see here, some big hits happening, and Night Shield gets the knockout on Cobalt Dragoon, securing my win again.
And the better deck will win.
Yeah, that was actually my entire run because I ended up at the Swiss rounds. I just barely didn't make the top 8. I ended up in 9th place at this tournament, and yeah, Night Shield hard carried me to that placement, not gonna lie. And I'm ending this with footage of my cousin Blader B, who was also at this tournament. I don't remember his placement. I'll put it up on screen or something like that. But yeah, I had an amazing time at this tournament. Thank you very much to Dull AF for running this tournament. And thank you to everyone else who was there. And I had an amazing time. This has been everybody's favorite Robo Baycrafter Extraordinaire, Rasami Baycraft, signing off. Later!